Hello everyone, my name is Jakub Polaczyk. It's my pleasure to say a few things about my musical world. I'm a composer, classical composer. I'm originally from Poland, but I live in New York City. Just to tell you briefly about my music, I can say that I'm very much inspired by paintings, drawings. I'm inspired also by my culture, Polish culture, American native music, and also I would have to say, admit also the Asian aspect of time. So I'm a classical composer, right? A variety of ensembles and also different instruments, orchestrations, not only Western instruments, also Eastern instruments. I'm also interested in that. Trying to also combine some arts with visual aspects and extension of the techniques depending on the pieces. So I got my education in Poland, in Krakow, where I was born. Later I grew up in Nowy Sącz, Stary Sącz, and I came to to the United States 13 years ago to Carnegie Mellon, where I got my Carnegie Mellon education, university in Pittsburgh, and then I came to New York City when I've been here for a good 10 years. And talking about my music, I want to just tell you that, of course, my fascinations always comes not only particular from pitches, but also from visual aspect, drawings. Even here in the back, you see one of the drawing that was made for one of my composition for orchestra. But I'm also inspired by the paintings by the other artists that I see in the museums, or maybe sometimes also the different art like poetry, some text if I use it. If I use the texts, I call my music like a kind of surrealistic music, which combines a lot of elements. I'm not a composer who follows one path, one technique. I'm changing and trying to synthesize it. I call it as a certain synthesis. And I hope you will find maybe some interest in some of my works. You can find it on my website, and you can maybe read also a little bit about my. I don't want to say too much about my music. I like it to speak, but I hope that you will find some imaginary aspects, and maybe it can work for your imagination. I'm not very abstract. I'm between, I would say. I'm not typical postmodernist composer, not modernistic composer, not even maybe not classical composer. I'm somewhere in between. I have some elements from all of those aspects. Trying to write my own music, which maybe is, I call it like a kind of my reflection about the times where I'm living, and my maybe vision of the music that I would like to hear, the music that I imagined in my head. So here I am in the studio. Here I live across the Hudson River. So if you would like to be interested, I invite you from my website. Maybe listen to some of my albums. My recent album was Union Square, inspired by the place in New York City. Sometimes also places are inspiration for me. People for who I'm writing, or family, or the places where I've been living, as a kind of musical postcards. So thank you very much for listening here, and it's very nice to be joining this artist house, virtual house, where everyone can share a little bit of their own music or their own art. And thank you very much for the invitation. It's my pleasure also to be the participant of this program. Thank you very much. My best regards from New York City, Jakub Polaczyk.